What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another video. So, real quick, before I continue on with the main topic at hand, I want to talk about my last video, which was the most powerful stats to get the most power. So real quick, I did cover Jinnu. We obviously covered the fact that attack is the most powerful stat for him, because remember, it's what the units scale off of. So a lot of people have questions. So for hunters, it works a little bit differently. Remember that hunters that scale off of HP and that scale off of defense, their attack or their highest stat is going to be whatever they scale off of. So like Saw, Emma, etc., their quote unquote attack stat is going to be their HP stat. So their HP stat is what they're going to scale off of most. So they take the same concept, just swap around the numbers with HP, or if it's like Beck or Jinno or Dongsu, you swap over defense, okay? Just want to make sure we're on the same page here. Everyone scales off of a certain like stat of some sort. Those stats are going to be what is the best stat for that unit to gain their most amount of CP, okay? So, speaking of CP, I did mention I didn't want to talk about, I know it's combat power, by the way. I know it's like taboo to talk about CP, the acronym on the internet. I didn't even know about this till recently. God, I'm old. Let's talk a little bit about the Armory, okay? Because the Armory is something that a lot of people have questions about, and it's a brand new feature for global players, even though this has been around forever in regards to the early access players. So I want to kind of break it down for you guys and explain the importance of the Armory, how it works, and what you should do with it, okay? So first off, when you unlock the Armory, you're going to have two options here. We never had this option. This is a scheduled update. In early access, we only had this one, and it looked a lot different than this logo. But if you click on it, what happens is you'll have 1, 2, 3 free slots for your weapons. Now, these weapons are chosen automatically by the game based on the most powerful weapons in your inventory, okay? So it's important to collect SSRs because SSRs have the highest increase in the Armory than anything else. So you can see here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weapons here, all from the Armory sitting around here. Now, the number 4, number 5, number 6 is going to cost you Essence Stones, or is going to cost you these little, where are they? Right here. These mark of times to unlock, okay? For free-to-play players, I'm going to be real with you guys. Do not unlock this with Essence Stones. It's not worth it in the beginning. Do it the long way, do it the hard way. It'll pay off more in the end, and you're going to save a lot of Essence Stones, which you're going to have to use for summoning anyway. So save your Essence Stones. Do not unlock this. So I just want to explain, though, how it does work. So what happens is when you unlock any of these slots, you're going to see here there's a weapon management section. You can just see what your weapons are and which ones are sitting in there. That won't really make a difference, but each of these will give you a total power increase to your overall combat power. Okay? Very important to note that. It's only affecting combat power. It gives you no actual stats. So there's no strength, agility, there's no intellect, none of that. Okay, it's strictly a buff to increase your total stats. So when you're going into a battle, you're not sitting in that red zone quite as often. Okay, now let's talk about how it kind of works. So total power, you guys can see here what ends up happening. When you go level 1, rares, you get 10%, SRs, you get 20%, SSRs, you get 30% of that power, okay? You guys can see here the increase in power right here, 250, 500, 1000, okay? Now, as you increase in the actual tier, the percentages go up. So you get 16%, 31%, 52%. At level 2, you get 21, 42, 73, etc., right? Now, when you start hitting the higher thresholds, which is going to take forever, by the way, unless you're like mega megalodon here and this is all you're doing all day long, you can start gaining a lot more of the SSR powers, SR powers, etc., right? So the transfer of the power, you get 73% at level 2. You guys can see here, I get 5,957 at 73% of this power. So if I go to the next one, this is only level 1. If I were to level this up here as well, right? Let's just do a quick level up. You'll see here, the ratio went up, so did my power, and now it's 5957, 5957, exactly the same, right? You can see the ratio ends up being the same. If I do the same here, right, you guys can see here, 5853, right? Look, a little bit lower. Now, why is it lower? Well, simply put, because I don't have as much dupes in this weapon as I do the other ones. Look, this is only a 3 dupe. These are 6 dupes. Okay, so that will make a difference in your power scale. Now, you guys can see here, this is 5957, again, similar to this one, right? Any 5 stars will give you 5957. So this one here, I don't have enough now. Now, as you increase this in power, the more you put into this, the more your combat power increases. Like I said, it essentially affects you here. Okay, so right over here. You guys can see now this amount just went up. And that's how a lot of people are reaching higher levels as whales, is they're using their Armory to boost this power, even though themselves are not getting stronger. But in fact, it is helping because when you're in the white, remember, you don't have that damage penalty, which is hindering your progress in this game. So it does matter. Now, also, a benefit to the Armory, of course, is going to be your battle tier. Okay, so your battle tier here, the more combat power you have, see, look, I'm only 2,000 away from the next one. 1,900 something, and you guys will end up getting yourselves additional rewards like essence stones and gold. You guys can see this is tier 25. Now the achievements are right here. You guys can look at every single one of them. It does go all the way up to tier 41, which currently I don't even know if anyone's reached. Maybe Nato has reached it. I don't know where she's at, but she's at 500 something CP. I'm at 300 and what is it, 393. So I mean, it's not too bad, right? I'm getting up to the 400s, but the big whales, like the huge ones, are right around this slot here. Probably, I would imagine 39, 40-ish. If you're looking at what, almost 120 more 20k combat power than me. Yeah, it looks about right. I'd say about level 40, maybe even 41. So a lot of the bigger whales are there, but that's kind of the reason here as well too. When you boost up your power, you get an extra tier, you get some essence stones, and you get some gold along the way. And then on top of that, you're also going to get some achievements done. So it does serve multiple purposes, but I want to make sure that people understand that there is in fact zero stat gain, but it does play the pivotal role of getting you past that hurdle in order to do harder content without the penalty. And I think that's going to be the most important part for a lot of folks, because like I said, for you as a free-to-play player, you're going to live in the red for a very long time. Okay, you're going to have to get used to that. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't finish content. Like, I finished all my free-to-play accounts on chapter 15 at 119k. If you go back to chapter 15 normal mode, right, when I finished this right here, the power difference was pretty huge, right? 169 versus 119 when I finished it. So that's a hefty, that's 50,000 power gone right there. Now, as we're getting further and further into the story, you guys can see here, chapter 18, for example, you're getting into the 364Ks, right? Now, some free-to-play players are like 250, 280, etc. So they're still able to do this. But again, the higher your CP is, the less you live in that red zone, which is super important for all players. Once you get to hard mode, look at this. It gets even crazier, right? Like where I'm at currently, if you look here, the strike leader squats is 484k. So you can imagine this is meant to be long term. Now, with this concept in hand, I want to just talk about this. A lot of people are complaining how hard it is. You guys have to remember, this game just came out, right? For global, it's been like, what, 11 days, 9 days, 10 days? What? I don't even know how long it's been. They're not looking for you guys to finish this entire game in a span of a month. They want you to stretch this as far as you possibly can for two reasons. Number one, for you to want to spend, of course, so spend responsibly. Please don't be dumb about that. And number two, they want you to also have content available and challenge yourself. Because let's be real, as much as people want to rush, and this is a gamer mentality, as much as we want to rush and finish content and be the best at it, when we're finished it, we all get bored and we complain that the devs don't have enough content out. And that becomes a problem in itself, right? So I hear a lot of people being like, oh, this is too pay to win, it's too hard to do it. But quite honestly, again, it's a gacha. All gachas are marathons. If you're not planning to run the marathon with the rest of us, you should be playing console games or PC games that are not gacha games. Because like I said, all of this is meant to be a long-term plan for the developers and the players. All right, well, there you guys go. That is the Armory in a nutshell. If you guys have any comments or questions, let me know. More than happy to answer it. All right, guys, it's Payne. Talk to you guys in the next one. Take care.